I probably won't get all the flowers that I deserve. It don't surprise me at all when people go back on their word. I ain't really noticed much until I said back.
And we're back. We're live. Welcome back to Eye to Eye. I'm Kevin Trejo. And today's a very special episode because not only is it the very first episode ever, but I'm also introducing the co-host. Proud to say he's my friend. You know, he, in my eyes, he's a mastermind in the creative industry. You know, started co-founder of the lab. Shout out to the lab. Also has his own clothing brand. You know, very inspiring person, very creative. And I'm proud to say he's my friend, the one and only Eric Fernandez.
Yo.
Welcome, my boy.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Let's get it.
Excited for this new journey.
Yeah, man. I'm happy that that we're here, that we made it happen. Shout out to my boy Nick. Make shit happen. We're also doing it. Yeah, we gotta make shit happen.
Just do.
It's crazy how we're here, bro.
Yeah,
we made it happen. How I met you, 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
Was it 2 years ago?
2 years ago at Grand Central Market.
Grand Central Market, man. That's the spot. It's this idea happened 2 years ago, and it just didn't work out. And it's crazy how everything just falls into place when it's time.
Yeah, patience is something you have to develop.
And
build something.
Yeah, and it's interesting the way how we met, how we got along right away.
Yeah,
that's why part of this podcast, what I want to do is shine a little light in people's worlds that have interesting hobbies, inspiring life paths, and things like that. That you don't have to be famous to have those qualities,
right?
And you know how when I met you, I told you, when you were at the pop-up and you had this whole canvas and, it was a whole experience, and everybody had a chance to contribute to the painting. And I just froze. I couldn't, I'm not creative like that. I'm a very plain dude, simple dude. Give me a white tee, some black, fucking chinos.
Some 501s.
Yeah, and I'm chilling like that, and I was never into fashion, things like that. And seeing you guys, the clothing brand, shout out to the Creators Club. Look at this. I'm soft as a baby right now. It's lit.
Cozy.
And very cozy. We got the silk in the bottom. So you guys can check that out. Probably comment down below if you want my boy to drop some more merch. It's gonna be sick. He has some on too. Look at my boy looks fly. But
Trying.
anyways, yeah. So we met, and the reason for this podcast is that I think it's there's a lot of people in this world, or at least around me and my peers, that don't really tap into that creative side of their mind. So when we met up, it was very interesting to see how you worked, how you seen behind the scenes, how you just visioned everything. It was cool. It was dope. And I think this episode is going to be interesting. It's going to help a lot of people tap into that side of their mind, and I think it's beautiful. This whole podcast thing, it forced me to kind of really like get it going, get the mind working, and like, oh, what if this looks better, and this and that, and you just take off from there. So I don't know if you want to give a little people a background of where where you're from and how you started.
Born and raised in LA, K-Town. I remember just looking at TV shows and that were based in New York and wanting that same energy in LA.
Yeah.
And downtown at the time was nothing special. Like, like 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, there were people there, like the business people were there. But aside from that, there was nothing happening. I didn't really feel like LA was a city yet back then. And went to Long Beach State, studied civil engineering. I was there for 5 years. After a while, I realized the people that were around me, that's just like not who I wanted to be associated with. Not like associated with, but just be around. I felt like I just didn't belong. I was too.
You were special. You had a special feeling.
Vibe. You felt like I didn't
Something's
fit in.
Off.
I didn't fit in. And so I dropped out after 5 years, which was tough. But moved back into my parents' house, started bartending. I knew that I wanted to pursue fashion. That was like my first step. And so when COVID hit, I finally had the chance, like a lot of people had the chance to time to think and
work on your craft
and really think about what you're doing with your life. And so I started a creators club. And the vision, you can kind of tell by the name, but I wanted to build a community for creatives in LA and just highlight all the cool people around me, the painters, the actors, the writers, the comedians, photographers. And kind of build a community for all those people. I felt like there was communities for specific like journeys. Like if you're an actor, there was a community for you. But there was no place like
for everybody
where everyone came together. And so I wanted to, like what you wear.
You were inspired to just from there.
What you wear kind of represents what group you're in.
It does.
Like if you're wearing Fear of God or like, Louis Vuitton Target. It kind of
it's true. If everybody without even subconsciously kind of dresses on how they view the world or what they do for work,
how much they care.
How much they exactly.
And so, my mom was a big influence too. She cared a lot about how I looked at school, like when I was a kid.
You gotta be fresh.
She always ironed my shirts. Like my whites were the crispiest whites in the school.
Ironed,
ironed and super white.
Yeah, my mom was the same.
So I always wanted to be presentable.
You look good, you feel good. You do good, and everything just tied together.
And so that combined with the community aspect.
It's dope. And how did you tap into do you remember the first time you tapped into that creative like mind space or
it was always like in the back of
my
head.
It was just there. It was just always there.
I wanted to experience it through engineering because I wanted to go to school for architecture, but I just didn't have the capacity to.
So much going on. I feel it.
With engineering, it's more just so like an architect tells you what to create.
A to B to C. And that's it.
But I was always interested in buildings and architecture. That's good. I like design. Like everything design is.
So now, question: do you think everybody has that in them, and they just haven't found a way to express that?
Everyone's creative in their own way. And some people just don't have the antenna up.
I'm one of those.
But you find it.
It was crazy because you sparked it. I knew you sparked that idea that what, like I've never seen clothing like this. I get compliments all the time. I'm going on a date or I'm going out and people touch me like
you get a lot of touches.
It's soft. And that just made me think like, okay, like it's cool. How did he come up with this idea? Like it's interesting. It's interesting. And I think more than ever now it's a time where people are starting to think more for themselves, and at least, I don't know, at least in my circle, and we're starting to notice that, we have the power to do anything. And tapping into that creative, I think it's important. It makes us, it's what makes us special, as humans, the fact that we can think that way. And I've always found it interesting since I met you. So so it's dope to see and to think, at least coming from you, because honestly, shout out to the lab. Remember when I went to that first event, it was so awkward for me because I couldn't understand, I couldn't relate to people, with actors, up and coming actors, fashion, like, wearing these outfits and stuff like that. It's definitely interesting. Now for me, what do you think is a way that we can kind of motivate people, or how do you have a purpose with the clothing brand besides that, or is there or are you kind of growing with it, or what's up with the Creators Club?
The Creators Club is taking a break right now. I'm focused on the lab more
The
now.
lab. Okay, shout out to the lab.
Which is yeah, shout out to the lab. The lab was born from the
The
idea of
Creators
a
Club.
Creators
So they
Club.
evolved.
Yeah, it
So the
evolved.
idea evolved
Yeah,
into the lab. We'll leave the link for the lab,
yeah,
so you guys can tap in. All of you guys that are in the creative mind space,
Yep.
whether you're up and coming actor, like we said, videographer, comedian, whatever, anything in the creative world, that's the place to go. That's the place to meet people. Yeah, it's definitely interesting. How long has that been going on for already? The lab?
like 2 years and
2
some
years,
change. Yeah,
and it's
2 years.
picking up,
Yeah,
huh?
yeah, it's picking up.
It's picking up.
It started off as just like building community, throwing events for people
To
that
network.
we thought we were dope.
Yeah.
Highlight the people
Okay.
that were cool
Yeah. Yeah.
in
Yeah.
our community, and
Yeah.
then it's tough to running events is tough to make money from unless you're like already well like established.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we had to pivot, and we became a creative agency that focuses on building community. So
Okay.
yeah, we've been building the foundation for that all
And
of last year.
yeah,
We're still kind of building. It's a long
growing.
process.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. Of course.
pivoting.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. And and how would people get it to like connected with the lab? Is it just through social media, or is it like a membership thing, or how do people
It's
show up?
just social media. We post all the events that we're either throwing or being a part of.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you just have access to
Yeah.
everything that we're doing.
Yeah.
All the artists we're working with.
Cool. Yeah, yeah. A quick shout out to a quick artist. I want to shout out my boy Robert. Your cousin.
Yeah.
Dude, man, hell of a guy. We'll post a picture on the video for sure. It's obviously behind you, and holy mamas, that painting. Dope. He gets down, and it's inspiring, man. It's inspiring. Yeah. How long has your cousin been?
Dude, he started with graffiti a while back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ever since I can remember. That's how we bond.
Yeah.
We bond over all the artsy
Yeah.
stuff. So, yeah, we stay in touch. We're like the closest family
out of
members.
everybody.
Yeah. Because we just bond over.
Just creativeness,
creative shit. Yeah.
And also, I noticed. You started. What is it, like a pod? No, what are you doing with the DJ stuff?
Oh yeah, so I DJ, and I started this channel called House Radio, and pretty much what I want to do is just highlight DJs and producers from all over LA, and so the channel consists of me doing hour sets.
Yeah.
And then also I have segments where I call it sound check.
Okay.
And, I bring on a DJ, we talk for like 15 to 20 minutes, and then we do a B2B session, which means like we DJ back to back together.
Yeah.
And just trying to highlight cool DJs.
And then you have an artist painting in the background.
Oh yeah, and then that's called Chromosonic, which is I go to an artist studio.
Okay.
A different artist every time.
Every time.
I try to do it once a month, and so they're like kind of doing their thing in the background. They're painting,
and they're listening to the mix.
Yeah,
themselves.
They're listening to them. They're vibing.
So that's part of the inspiration of the painting.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
and
damn,
also
that's cool.
like I try to match the vibe that
whatever they're
who they are as
going
an
for.
artist.
Oh, okay.
Who they are as an artist, like the playlist or the set matches their vibe too.
Of course.
And so I'm excited. I'm doing a super dope ceramicist next.
Yeah.
Studio.
Yeah, we'll definitely link it up so you guys can check that out.
Yeah.
It's definitely very interesting. I've never seen anything like that before, honestly. Then you got these crazy edits going on. It's fun. It's fun. All those things, I enjoy seeing them. I enjoy seeing them, especially as a person that's never tapped into that creative side, and it's interesting. It's dope to see all that, and hopefully all this can also bring people together.
Yeah.
That's
the whole point.
It's a crazy time to be alive, 2025.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff going on, within our community, it's crazy. And I think definitely this, or at least this idea, came from all that. And I mean, my purpose of this to definitely be positive, constructive, and unite people, from all different kinds of places and life paths of the world and in life.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. how did you end up going to the Grand Central Market? Like, how did you?
Dude, I was like trying to find all these places that you could pop up at for a low cost.
Yeah.
Grand Central Market was one of them, and yeah, it's like it was easy, it was convenient. I live in K Town, so I just a lot of the things that I did for Creators Club is just if you seek, you'll find. And so just on like doing research online.
That's cool.
Word of mouth.
Yeah, just because the only reason why I ask is because a lot of people out there, how do I start? Where do I, that was one of the main reasons why I also didn't get this going right away, because it was just overwhelming thinking of. So it's just a way to kind of let people know that you just gotta look, see what's in your budget, and just go for it, huh?
Do your research.
Just go for it.
Do your research. You literally could do anything. In this point in time, you have YouTube, you have ChatGPT, you have
shout out to ChatGPT.
Yeah, you have the internet. Like you could literally do anything you want. Like look up what you want to do
and just
break down the steps. If the first thing you want to do is think of a brand name, then that whatever the easiest thing for you to do to get that moving, just do that.
Just do that step by step.
Yeah.
And then I'll just kind of follow.
No step is too small. Just start.
Yeah. And no podcast is too small either.
Yeah, no.
Let's get it.
Yeah.
It was definitely a really, really cool thing to see put together. And I appreciate you honestly for, supporting. Because honestly, we're starting from ground zero.
This is ground
zero, rock bottom, and the only way is up.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you for supporting this and seeing the vision and choosing to ride along. And I think it's gonna be fun because you have a very interesting way of seeing the world. And I have a very, I guess, basic way of seeing the world.
No.
And but I'm learning.
Everyone has their own unique way.
And I think it's definitely fun to see these both worlds collide. And I can't wait for future guests to come on here. It's gonna be crazy. We're gonna have models. We're gonna have comedians. We're gonna have all kinds of stuff. Definitely. If you guys want to collab or anything, we're definitely gonna be at the lab.
Yeah,
you'll find us there.
Yeah, that'll be where we all commune.
Yeah, and it's gonna be fun, man. I think this is it's a good project. It's good for the world because we mean it in a good way. And times are hard right now. Times are hard, and we gotta wiggle it out. Especially I mean, I don't know. What do you think of starting up, this idea, but in Spanish?
Oh, yeah.
Can you speak Spanish?
Yeah, I speak Spanish.
Yeah, let's go, baby.
Pero se me olvida una
Se te olvida. A veces me convierto en no sabo,
Yo no sabo.
Yo no sabo. Yeah, no. But that's an idea that I had. I wanted to start something in Spanish. And I think with, the presidency and the elections and everything that's happening right now, I feel like more and more our culture, our people, la raza, some of them need a voice.
Yeah.
And some voices, unfortunately, you see all these protesting, all this negative stuff happening, and I don't think it's the way. And I think, I don't know, maybe we can use this. What? You're not recording. All right, and we're back. Sorry about that, guys. We had technical difficulties. First time, first episode, one of our cameras died, and we got to fix that. So where were we? We were talking about making this project in Spanish, making something for the culture, making something for la raza. I was telling you that during these times, it feels like most people don't have a voice. That, and I think the fact that we're privileged to be born in this amazing country, I think maybe it would be a good idea, to bring that up. So, if hopefully the viewers can comment, and if they want to see or something like that, they want to see something like that, then we should get it done.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I'm down.
Yeah. Cool. Perfect.
Gotta sharpen up my Spanish.
Yeah. We gotta get a little Latina on the podcast and get that going. Maybe we could get a tutor.
Yeah. A live tutor.
A live tutor, that'd be
¿Cómo se
sick.
dice?
Mi amor. Papacito, we got a Colombian chick.
Papi.
No, but yeah, on a serious note, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for this project. Real quick, I mean, while the cameras were off, we were talking about the inspiration of, this whole idea and how we're just putting it all together. And I'm excited. I'm excited, to show people that regular people, like you and I, that have just as amazing stories, you know, cool hobbies as famous people,
Yeah.
and we're all human. We all come from somewhere. We all have done something in life that I think is worth sharing. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see where this leads to. Obviously, I'm happy and I'm excited because this is something that I really wanted to do for myself, and you're doing for yourself as well, with your projects. So yeah, let's get it, bro.
Yeah.
Let's
Just,
get it.
let's just, build a space where people could come and share their
Yeah,
story.
yeah, safe space for sure.
I feel like we're both from LA, so create a space where we could talk about the city and what's going on,
Mm-hmm.
how we
Yes.
feel about everything that's happening, and
Mm-hmm.
just create a space to talk about all the bad and good.
Yeah, the good. There's always good and the bad.
Yeah.
Living in South LA, you see all these crazy incidents, all these activities, and it's all perspective.
Yeah.
It's all perspective, and I think, yeah, I'm glad that we're gonna be able to make this space safe and friendly for everybody. So whether you're an OnlyFans chick or you're um you
OnlyFans or a doctor or a
doctor,
veterinarian.
veterinarian, whatever it may be, this is friendly show,
Yeah.
and we want to see the good in everything. And I think maybe that's why we connected really well, bro. I think we're both forces for good in this world,
Yeah.
and in times like this, I think it's important, that all the good people unite.
Right.
It's time. It's
Yeah.
time. Unfortunately, we won't be able to stop everything, but I think we can, do our part and at the same time, grow.
Yeah.
And I'm excited. I'm excited. So, I think this is a good episode. Very first, this is just an introduction.
We're just getting
We're
started.
just getting started. We're just getting started. This is just to introduce yourself, introduce myself as well. Obviously, there's no other video out there. And
Dad, do you want to say something about yourself?
shoot. Well, where do we start? Well, I was born, okay, a little background story. My bad. They threw me off with that question. Yeah, so look, I'm Kevin, and obviously born and raised here in LA. I know I've already mentioned that to you.
Yeah.
South Central, living here my whole life. I grew up around here. I went to school in Boyle Heights. Shout out to Salesian High School. That's where I went. I did a little bit of college, El Camino, but then fortunately it's not my thing, not my forte.
Yeah.
But we got it going, and yeah, I've been working. I've been working with animals, clinic, things like that. And shout out to Elias Pet Shop on South Central. If you guys ever need dogs vaccinated, if you ever get a dog, bro,
Yeah.
you gotta take them there. We get vaccines on there.
I want a Doberman.
Doberman, yeah, you gotta just have a backyard.
Yeah.
You gotta have a backyard for that one. And no, that's pretty much. I've been born and raised South Central, and like I said, I never really did anything creative like that. Just my job, home, maybe worked out here and there. And I'm excited for this new chapter in my life because, shout out to you, shout out to the lab. They sparked this new interest in me, this creative side in me, and I'm excited to see where this takes off. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. But that's pretty much it. There's not much else to it.
Yeah.
That's who I am, and just a normal dude.
I'm sure there's a lot more, but we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
As the podcast evolves.
Yeah. So you guys can tune in, and if you guys want to know a little bit about that, we could tune in. So subscribe, comment, and we could probably look into that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, brother. So I think this is it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
Yeah,
I can't wait. Yeah, no, I can't wait. You're gonna be here with me.
Yeah, I know.
You're stuck with me, bro.
Yeah.
We're gonna get this going, and I'm excited for the people that we're gonna bring on.
Do you know who the first guest is?
Yes.
Okay, who is it?
I'm gonna leave it.
It's a secret.
It's a secret. Okay. It's a mystery. I think you guys are gonna like it. All I can say, it could either be a comedian, athlete, or maybe a drug dealer.
Oh, nice.
Who knows? Yeah. So you guys gotta tune in. We'll see what happens. But yeah, we got a lot going on. We got so much that's already lined up for you guys. So like I said, tune in, like, comment, subscribe. And if you guys really want this to see the vision, if you guys want to see, what is the word I'm looking for?
See the results?
The results
of our hard work.
Yeah. I'm nervous, guys. I'm nervous. I've never been on camera like this, so it's
the first.
Yeah. It's different for me for sure. But hopefully I get my shit together.
You will.
And then
practice.
Yeah. That's all it is. Honestly, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna feel a lot more crazy.
Yeah.
It's not that bad. And
I try to like oppose that energy by just being extra chill, you know?
Yeah.
When you're anxious and then someone else is anxious, it just like multiplies.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to balance you out by just
I feel like I'm talking a lot. Huh?
Yeah. No, you're good.
Yeah.
You're the main host. I'm your
Yeah. No, I like, when it comes to the things like that I like to do or I'm interested in, I can go on.
Yeah. I mean, same.
And this is something, 2 years in the making.
Yeah.
2 years in the making, and it's finally, this is it. This is where we take off from. And I'm excited. I'm trying to put all my emotions together, and my thoughts, everything, and it's just boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, I think the coolest thing is looking back at what you thought of things, how you saw the world, 10 years from now, like how you spoke, like how you've gotten better.
Yeah.
Like it's a project that will help you understand yourself too as you grow.
Yeah.
So,
cool. Yeah. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. Let's get it. Let's get this show on the road and tune in, guys. Check all those likes. I fucked that. We're gonna have to cut that one, bro.
No, keep
we gotta cut that one. No, we gotta cut that one.
People like the bloopers.
Ah, man, we were gonna finish off so good.
People like the bloopers. Keep it.
Okay, all right, guys.
It's raw.
Fuck it. We'll keep it
unfiltered.
Yeah, we'll just have to bleep out the F word. But
we can say the F word.
Yeah.
Do you not want to say the F word?
No, I can say it.
Yeah, I mean, on YouTube you're allowed to say the F word.
Yeah, you know how it was.
And we could bleep it on Instagram.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter.
We'll figure it out.
It's cool. It's raw. It's like LA.
It's raw. This is it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Bradley Martin, Raw Talk. All right, guys. We're out of here.
See you guys next time.
I gotta also give a shout out real quick before we end this thing to my boy Randy. Randy Lokes. He's the one behind the camera. He's my Jamie. So shout out to my boy Randy. I'll leave his links in there. Check his page out. He got a good vision for photography as well. All right, guys, we're out of here. My man, thank you. My man, thank you for coming in. And let's get this show on the road.
Picture me rolling, tip of my chauffeur. Niggas look jealous. You gotta control it. Reaching my quota, mixing my soda. Feeling connected to God, trying to get closer. Stepping on roaches, me and my loasters. Just trying to get over, try not to get swallowed by locusts. Trying to stay focused, kinda like Moses. Like somebody chose us.